The content.
Welcome to God's Pot of Gold. Now, here's your host, Vicki Herring.
That's right. God has a pot of gold. From the Word of God, did you know that the Lord gave us all kinds of secrets, which we put in a pot of gold for you? In the Song of Solomon, that's actually the Song of Songs, but it's Song of Solomon. And the bride was dipped with myrrh, and she was all beautiful. She was beautiful because of the myrrh that she was in. And then when it goes on and it talks about when the shadows flee away at night, he's going to go to the mountain of myrrh and to the hill of frankincense. And when the lover touches the bride, his bride was dipped with myrrh. The Bible states myrrh and sandalwood are the finest of the essential oils of the tree. The Word of God states, "How beautiful you are, my dear. Oh, how beautiful." And the oil makes the bride beautiful. In the book of Esther, for 6 months before she married the king, used a myrrh on her skin every day. Myrrh actually gets into the skin, into the brain barrier, and it will actually rewrite bad miswritten DNA. So in other words, if you had a sunburn, what it will do is go into the cell and erase that and rewrite it as correctly as it can with what is available for rewriting. But the beautiful thing is you can actually put this myrrh on your skin and get it to perfecting. It actually gets rid of the cracks and the wrinkles. Sandalwood is the same way. In the Bible, that again was one of the higher oils that was available. The frankincense, the myrrh, the sandalwood, those over and over talked about for beautifying in the Bible. In Song of Solomon, again, it talks about the lips. His lips were dipped in the lilies dipped with myrrh. So again, the myrrh is talked about for the men and for the women. And it was amazing when I started studying this years ago. I worked for two of the largest manufacturers of makeup and cosmetics in the world. And this was in my younger days when I was much, much younger. I'm in my mid-50s now. And it makes a big difference today on what I put on my face compared to what I put on my face back then. Then it was a lot of cosmetic stuff that you really wouldn't want on your skin. If you can't eat it, I won't put it on my skin. It's just something that has to be certified therapeutic, or it has to at least be something that's natural and organic. And what we found was we put this pot of gold together, this formula, and what we did was we found the world's finest certified therapeutical essential oils on myrrh, frankincense, sandalwood, and these are dietary supplements. In other words, you can eat the frankincense, the myrrh, and the sandalwood, and only 2% of the frankincense in the world is truly true frankincense. What you buy at the health food stores and what you buy at the Christian bookstore is not true frankincense. Again, only 2% of the frankincense in the world is real frankincense. So you've never really experienced a good frankincense, more than likely. Now, what we've done is we put it into a base of shea butter, and this shea butter is certified organic shea butter, which today in the world we call that the women's gold, because what it doesn't do is it doesn't clog up your pores, and it does contain vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin F. And this is a therapeutic project that we put together. So in other words, when you go to rate something as far as an essential oil is concerned, there's different ratings in the world. France has probably one of the highest, and these are actually rated with the grading that France uses. So it's a higher standard than the therapeutic of the traditional American therapeutical grades. Now, the Lang Lang we also put in there, and that is for the soft, romantic flavor of it. It has such a a smell to it. And again, that is something that is edible. It's a therapeutical dietary supplement, but we don't recommend that you eat the shea butter. The pot of gold is actually, it's a multitask there, because it also goes into, when you smell the oil, when you get ready to put this cream onto your face, when you smell the oil that's in the cream, what happens is it goes into your brain, and it goes beyond your blood-brain barrier, which means, again, it goes in, erases, rewrites bad DNA. And when you smell it, it goes up into your limbic system of your brain, which is where you store all your memory. You store and you file all your emotional experiences up there. So let's say that you had something in your past that was a bad situation. What it does is it will bypass your thought. It bypasses everything and just goes into the area of where you have all those emotional experiences. And believe it or not, it helps you psychologically. It affects your brain in a positive way. It also, that system up there also controls your heart rate, your blood pressure, your breathing, your stress levels, your hormone balance. That is a master gland for your hormones, your thyroid, and your growth hormones. It's really a very fascinating, interesting project. Now, when we got to looking at what these oils do, besides the beauty of the exterior beauty and the brain for your emotional area, it also science has proven that these therapeutic oils go in and they work with diabetes, cancer, hepatitis, fungal infections, inflammation, arthritis. It will work on scars, acne, antidepressant, muscle relaxing. It's an immune system. It works for the herpes simplex, cold sores, HPV virus. It actually gets in there and helps you get a good night sleep, a deep sleep. So it's a good night cream to put on. It's a good day cream to put on. We actually, with this project that we did a beauty tip tape, so that you have all the beauty tips that we could find in the Bible to help you with the inside and the outside. We actually found some things in the Bible that actually release serotonin, which is what they use when you're not feeling the best. Maybe you're feeling a little down today, or if you're just clinically depressed. The stuff that we put, the tips that we put in this CD that we put together for you with this special that we have today, is actually going to, in 4 weeks, if you're clinically depressed, take you out of that you'll be non-clinically depressed. And that's scientifically proven. It's amazing that the damage that's done by the sun to our faces, and this myrrh actually is a natural sun blocker, which was interesting to me because, again, Esther, where she was, the sun was just very, very, damaging to the skin. And I'm sure because she was out in it all the time, it was very damaging to her skin. And then on top of that, she was an orphan. So she probably had some things that, emotional experiences that she had to go through and kind of work through. So what we've done again is we put this pot of gold together for you, and that's what we call it, a pot of gold. And our special today is $69 for the pot of gold. And again, these are this is a top of the line product, and it is a biblical product. This is God's pot of gold to us. And we're going to cover all your shipping. We're going to cover your handling on this. And if you call within the next 30 minutes, at 1-877-231-3326, I'm going to give you a second pot of gold for free. And then, of course, make sure you ask for your beauty tips. Those you'll really want to get your hands on. Again, call to reserve your pot of gold. That number is 1-877-231-3326. And you don't want to miss out on this pot of gold, because of the fact this pot of gold is going to do multiple things for you as far as your beauty is concerned, your health is concerned. And what we're doing is we're taking a tithe of this, and we're actually going to be supporting Faith Family Crisis Center here locally. And Faith Family Crisis Center actually helps abused women and children with multiple different things. First, we give them a job. We give them hotel rooms, emergency stays. We provide all of the things that they need. But that right there is kind of an inner beauty thing that you'll be doing. You'll be helping these women in that arena. Now, again, you just don't want to miss that saying that someone's going to say how beautiful you are. I can't imagine being able to reverse a lot of the years, but this actually reduces the wrinkles and damage that's done to the face. And it's not just the Bible that says it, science is backing up what God is saying there. Again, this is a miracle cream. Frankincense and myrrh can go again beyond the blood barrier and get in there and take care of that bad DNA, which is fascinating to me. But there is the psychological advantages to it. And then when you go in and you take a look at what myrrh actually can do for you, the uses of it is for the promotion of spiritual awareness too. It's an uplifter, which again, because it gets in there into the limbic system of the brain, and it starts working on the master glands, the hormones, the thyroid, which we always have problems with thyroid when we get older. The American diet has a tendency to do damage to our thyroid, and we start gaining weight. But the nice thing about this myrrh is that it gets in there and it works on that master gland that controls all of the hormones, and the growth hormone, which we all know, the growth hormone is something that we want to mess with. This is also good for circulation for men too, which is fascinating. The 2 bottles we give you, one for your face and one for your body, is it's actually perfect for lowering your blood pressure. It's actually good for hair loss too, if the guys want to put it on top of their head. That is medical properties that go along with this. Now, Lang Lang is kind of it's interesting for the fact that it was always used for stimulation as far as intimate relationships are concerned. But again, we use it for the cardio problems, anxiety, hypertension, depression, internal problems that you might have in your intestines. That's a good one. And the sandalwood, and I'm trying to go over this so that you know all the different things that each one of these oils do, because they're just fascinating. And these are truly the real thing. If you go to kind of look at an essential oil, essential oils are really fascinating because of the fact that, it'll say lemon. For instance, science says lemon is great for you for cancer. And this study that was done on an essential oil. The difference between you going down and buying lemon juice, and let's say that you were smart enough to go down and buy a concentrated lemon juice, opposed to the made from concentrate, because the strength is different. The concentrate is, squeezed. It's straight up. The difference between that and then your essential oil, it takes 3,000 lemons to make 1 kilo of essential oil lemon. The tests and studies that were done on cancer were done with the lemon oil, essential oil, not the drink that was squeezed. The essential oil, 1 drop of that goes and touches every cell in your body. It dances on top of your neurons. People don't understand the strength of an essential oil. It's far, far different. When you start talking about medicine, this was the medicine in God's day. And this stuff hasn't changed any if you can get the stuff that's not adulterated, because so much of it is not pure anymore. And the purity of something makes the difference. Again, if it's something that I can consume in my mouth, and then I'll put it onto my skin, and then my skin, because you're going to absorb it, and it's going to go into your body. And the the stuff that you buy from the manufacturers out there today are they're actually pretty scary, because some of the stuff that's in them, you can't even understand what's in the products. It's as bad as our food products. Okay, frankincense. Let's talk about that for a minute, because frankincense is used for depression, cancer, respiratory infections, inflammation, and immune stimulating. So, as far as the fragrance is concerned, again, you're smelling this every day when you're putting it on a couple of times a day. And I would take the time to rub it in my hands and smell it in, because you're going to get all of the benefits of smelling it, as well as it absorbing and going into the skin. Anyhow, frankincense actually works again on the brain, and it works on the memory and the emotional area. It works. That's why it works for the depression. We actually did a quick study on, it wasn't a quick study, it was quite intense, but we did a quick study for you on what it is to walk in and through the depression of your body, as far as the physiological. When I studied in college psychology, it was always the chemical imbalance. So the chemical imbalance is so important, and these oils help so much. It's amazing how they kind of give you an uplift when you smell them in the morning. Now, the sandalwood is a awesome product. It has the ingredients in it, and the ability that it has is just fascinating for the skin and for the mind. And this one here is a real good one for the moisturizing your skin and hydrating it, and it gets in there, and these pure essential oils soften the skin, and they promote elasticity, and that's what we need to promote that youthful look in our skin. It actually has a toner in it. It kind of cleanses the skin as it goes along. And the interesting thing, if you go back and you look at the days of Jesus in the Old Testament, when the priest would get into their tents and they would put the frankincense and all that on, the smells going on, they would never catch the flu, and they would never catch the cold and the plagues that were going through. And when the Jews would anoint themselves, this is what they used. This is what they would put on their skins, and they would anoint themselves every day. They wouldn't catch the flu, they wouldn't catch the colds, they wouldn't catch all those things, because all of these here are antifungal, they will pretty much take care of anything that comes at you, a virus, a flu, just about anything. It will kill almost every microbe out there, which is, again, fascinating. I studied microbiology for 5 years and went through a great deal of study, and this is what I've been using for the last few years, and I just thought, it's just time to share this with people, because this is just too awesome. You know, I get an opportunity to help the homeless and the abuse. At the same time, I get the opportunity to help the people that are depressed and help us be beautiful inside and out. Again, what we've got going this month, the pot of gold, it's $69. That covers your pot of gold. That covers your shipping and handling. And again, if you call within the next 30 minutes, we're going to give you a second pot of gold. And make sure that you do ask for the beauty tips. It's going to save you tons of money. Those beauty tips they're very inexpensive, they're quick, and I have been studying this stuff for probably 30 years. I've been studying the skin and what beauty things you can use to promote your longevity as far as your body is concerned, and how to cut cost on making yourself beautiful. This formula is God's formula. It's not my formula. I just took what He had in His Word, and I would just do the science behind it, and it just made so much sense when I started studying, and I made sure that I bought the best in the world. It was for me, and I started using it mainly when my husband got sick years ago. He got diabetes and had a couple of sores on his feet from the diabetes, and the doctors could never figure out how to get rid of it. So I took my formula and I put it on him, and he never, ever got another sore. Never. And then when I would put it on my legs, I had these little puppies, these little Yorkie puppies, and one of them had epilepsy. And so when I put it on my legs, all the puppies would follow me down the hall. The puppy, when it started licking that, within the next day, it never had another seizure. To make sure it was that, I stopped using it so the puppies couldn't get to it. And her seizure came back. But then once she started using it, I only had to put it into her food every few months or so. After a little while, I used it every day for a while, and then I started only have to use it every few months for her to never have a seizure again. And I couldn't understand, unless the epileptic seizures are caused by a fungal infection or something, I could never really understand how it helped her, but it did. I mean, it was amazing that it just took care of it. And it's like the little sores we get on our lips, the cold sores, it's amazing because that right there is just, it's a fungal infection. And we've got a couple of different things that you can put on there. You'll have a breakout and never ever have another breakout again. But again, you have to give this stuff a try. I guarantee you that this will help you reduce your wrinkles. If you just follow the little tip thing that I give, it will reduce the years and aging process. And again, it comes from the Word of God. It states, how beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful. And I can never get over that when I read that. And then when I read about Esther and I started reading, there were a couple of other, it's talked about all the way Old Testament, New Testament, and essential oils are talked about hundreds of times in the Bible, but they're essential oils. They're not the extract that you buy. They are not the dried product that you buy. The potential of the dried product is 25% of the extract, and the extract is nowhere near the strength of the essential oil. The essential oil is the strongest product out there. There's nothing stronger. They've tested a lot of this stuff up against antibiotics. And just take, for instance, the olive leaf. I've written books on the olive leaf, and if you're interested in that, call me on that one. But the olive leaf has been tested up against some of the strongest antibiotics that they make out there, and the same you end up with the same results. So, that's an extract. That is not an essential oil. So, again, give me a call at 1-877-231-3326. Get your pot of gold. Get the special we've got going on where you get the extra pot free if you call within the next 30 minutes. So you don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss getting the tips. This is not a junk product. This is God's pot of gold. The formula is His. And again, we made sure that we went out and got the finest products we could find in the world. They're all grade A. They're all therapeutic, and they're organic. So you're not going to find anything better out there in the health food stores or in the Christian bookstores. A lot of times what they're using is something that's, they'll say, well, this is organic. But the problem is, gasoline is organic, and they can use all kinds of oils to mix with these oils and call it organic, and it's amazing that they're allowed to do that, but they do, and I guarantee you this is the finest product that you can find out there. I went to England, I searched through England, I searched over in Europe. I've been over to Germany, I've been to Israel, I've been everywhere, and the finest thing that I could find comes from the Middle East, and we bring it in, and again, it is a therapeutical oil, but it does come from the Middle East where it's supposed to be grown, where it you're going to find something that's organic, that's really organic. But anyhow, you're going to truly enjoy this product. I guarantee that you will get a better looking skin from this. Give me a call at 1-877-231-3326. Again, that number is 1-877-231-3326. It's $69 for the pot of gold. We cover the shipping and handling for you. You do get an extra pot if you call within the next 30 minutes. And we will make sure that you get the beauty tips. If by chance the line's busy, just please leave your name and number, and we will get in touch with you. You will get the extra pot of gold. You got any questions about these essential oils or this stuff, please just, leave me a message. I'll be happy to call you back on it. Again, these are frankincense, myrrh, sandalwood. We have lang-lang, and we have the therapeutical version of everything, and it is the top 2% of the quality frankincense that's out in the world. These are just fabulous products. You will love them. The shea butter is, again, an organic, a grade A, and your results from smelling it in the morning to smelling it at night before you go to bed will just amaze you. When God put this formula together, he obviously did it, for his bride. And guess what? That's us. So give me a call. Get ready. The wedding's coming soon. Maybe within the next 6 months we'll be ready on the exterior too. It won't matter then, I guess. But go ahead, and it's amazing how it'll work for your mind. So give me a call. Again, that number is 1-877-231-3326. And you have a wonderful, beautiful day today.
You have been listening to God's Pot of Gold with your host,